Welcome back to another episode, another week with Cameo. Yeah. I don't know what that was. Hi. I'm glad to be back. Another week, another episode. I'm really being consistent with this, and it's crazy because it's like the one of the first times I'm actually being consistent with things. Like, what? Oh my gosh. Um, I wanted to use this episode as a reintroduction reintroduction of who I am and um, what I'm doing and what all of this is about. So, hope you get something nice to drink, nice to eat. This isn't going to be too long. Some little real calm, real sweet, real scrumdiddly yum yum. Um, okay, so if you didn't know, my name is Cameo Chambers, and I am a conceptual artist, curator, and filmmaker. Um, I work multidisciplinary. I work in a lot of different mediums. But if you have seen my work, my most popular work is video, film, and sculpture. I do a lot of installations. I'm currently the curator of the TSI Harlan Snodgrass Gallery, and I do a lot of freelance work in design and curation as well. Um, yeah, like I've just been enjoying life. I've been living, but I've also been digesting. I feel like my work speaks a lot to the Black femme embodiment. It speaks a lot about Black identity, and I'm thinking about cultural memory and perception. A lot of my work, a lot of my film work, essentially is I work within photogrammetry. So that's like I'm not going to explain photogrammetry, but using photogrammetry to build worlds and then create these animations. um yeah, like my background, little background on me. I went to UPitt. I have a BA in interdisciplinary arts. I focused in creative writing and graphic design, design mostly, but then that led me into animation, which I pursued in graduate school. I've been here for 2 years at Alfred University. I have a full ride here at Alfred University. I'm the first Black student in the Electronic Integrated Arts program, and I've done a lot here. I really have. Like, I was just filling out this survey for my school, and it was just talking about like, oh, what have you done here? And as I'm reflecting, I'm like, whoa, I really did a lot once I came here. I graduated undergrad in no April of 2023, and then I started graduate school. Well, I came here in Alfred like July, but then I started graduate school in August of 2023, and now I'm gonna have my master's in fine arts in May, less than a month. Actually, in a month from now, I graduate with my master's, and I'm really excited about that. I've done a lot here. Like my I've done so much. I've done over like 20 shows, and that goes for solo, curated, and group shows. And that's just not even here. Essentially, I did a lot of like outside collaborations. My first huge collaboration was with Good Black Art and Cultural DC. I my work Aurora, which is a video performance that I did when I was an undergrad, um, that I edit and it changes every time I show it. But that was exhibited on billboards. It was exhibited on, I think, like between 5 and 7 billboards across DC, DC Metro. That was last year, February. It was a little bit over a month that it showed. Um, because I think last year was a leap year, so yeah, it was a little bit over a month. Um, and then what else did I do? I I was in residency in Maine for the summer, which was really, really, really fun. That's when I did I think 2,000 mile or 3,000 mile road trip from here at my school. I went from here, drove across upstate New York to, I think, where was I? It wasn't Connecticut. Was I in Connecticut? Probably. I probably was in, no, I was in Massachusetts, I think. I went from, no, was it Massachusetts? I don't know. Where is Massachusetts? I'm bad at geography. But I went from New York to Maine, and then I went from Maine to Montreal, and then Montreal back to upstate New York. And that was during like, it was like 10 days, and it was really fun. I was in a tiny car, literally like no bigger than like this. It's so small, tiny, tiny, tiny car, packed up with all my stuff and my food, and then I was just on my residency, and then that's where I made one of the videos that I showcased in another curated show that I was in February, um, called "Why Won't You Let Me Be Free," and that's something that I'm going to be showing in my solo show next month. What else did I do? Oh, another prominent thing that I did in graduate school, uh, literally first semester in, I was in a research like conference with philosophers from Bonn, and we were discussing the ethics of AI, and I was talking about what I do, like my practice is 3D scanning. So I work with AI a lot. Like I'm an AI researcher. That's something that I've been doing, something that I came in here doing, something I've been doing from undergrad. Um, I've always been really interested within like AI and technology and those things, and thinking about um, more functional ways to do it and more like accessible ways of AI and so forth so often. Not necessarily saying like I'm not gonna get into that conversation, but yeah, I did that. I was talking with philosophers about that. I was talking with them about like photogrammetry process and how photogrammetry uses AI, and I was thinking about how we can use photogrammetry to kind of reclaim our monuments. I was talking about murals and stuff. I'm really passionate about murals. I'm from Philadelphia. So many murals in Philadelphia, and like I'm just one of oh, I don't think I've ever told this story actually. One of the first I'm not sure if I told it on here. Um I knew I wanted to be an artist when I was in first grade. Um I knew I wanted to be an artist when I was in the first grade. I used to go to this like Christian academy, and it was in West Philly, and I remember it so clearly. I think it was off like Walnut or something like that. And this is maybe too personal for YouTube, the internet. But there was, at the time when I was in first grade, there was this artist who was making a mural on one of the houses, like the end houses of the block. If you know Philly, you know like our blocks are like house, it's like row homes and stuff like that. So they were painting that, and it was right next to our playground. And it's crazy because I can see it vividly. Like as a kid, we were on the news. I think I was on like ABC or something because we would help paint at the bottom and stuff like that. Like it was a huge mural, and it was about community, and it was about multiculturalism, and today that mural is gone due to gentrification because they literally put a house up where that mural was. So that mural doesn't exist, and I think it's insane, how that's something that was talking about multiculturalism, and how something like that, how these artifacts, um, essentially these community artifacts, is like they come in and they go. So I'm thinking about within AI, I was thinking about like how do we save these public artifacts? How do we save these ephemeral sort of things using AI and the structures of AI? And I was talking about that, and I was talking about I work also in like augmented reality and VR. So how you can use those things to then like how do you a major thing within AR and VR, augmented reality and virtual reality right now is like education and the camera went off. Thinking about education, thinking about also like how we can use, for example, VR to help um, better education and help like more visual learners, etc. So that's what that was. And that was during my first semester in graduate school. And then after that, literally 2 months after that is when I did the Good Black Art collaboration. And then I felt really stagnant. And then it was the summer residency. And then after the summer residency, I made my first animated film. Not my, I wouldn't consider it my first animated film, but like my first like narrative driven animated film, because before they were mostly like silent, visual oriented works. So now, yeah, so like that's when I made Alien IRL, and literally I made it, premiered it like the next day after I made it. I mean, it was in the works. Um, Premiered it August 30th. I remember that day. Because it was a really good show. At first time I premiered it, it was like a 3 channel videos in the immersive gallery that we have here, and it was 3 channel instead of single. And I was just looking at, perspective. It was really overwhelming the first time I showed it, and then a month later, that's when it premiered on Brick TV. Funny enough, that it's going to premiere on Brick TV again starting tomorrow. um, Alien IRL premiered on Brick TV. Then it showed at Vox Populi. Um, yeah, it had its own life, and that's when I was also working. I've been working with glass for the last year and just experimenting with fragments. All of my work has to exist with these like fragments and distortion of image, distortion of these things, because I'm thinking about cultural perception. I'm thinking about how distorted our reality is. I'm thinking about hyper reality, and in the exchange of how crazy our today is, I make work that kind of shows that I'm not trying to hide. I think a lot of the times when you think about AI, you're thinking about this perfection, and how I talk about it a lot in like the last episode. I was talking about like the algorithm and how we make things for the algorithm, and dealing with perception and all these sorts of things. But yeah, that's kind of what my work is about. And my solo show, which is in less than a month, and my artist book is called This Is Not a Body, because a lot of my work is self-portraiture. I work showing my image, like within my animations is my image, or like these personifications of my image or my embodiments, because I can really only see things from, not saying that I can't see things outside of my perspective, but the creativity, what I'm generating is from me outside to the world. So it's like I'm digesting the world and then feeding it back out through, my lens. So that's what I do. That's what my work is. Um, my most recent accomplishment, couple recent accomplishments. Uh, this January, I was in a surrealist group show, um, curated by Jordan and Lenorda. I think that's how you pronounce their name. I think so. But that was in Manhattan. Um, and I showed my work, Crown of Thorns, the comb thorn piece I talked about in like 2 episodes ago. Um, yeah, I showed that piece. And then another show, I showed my work, Black Girls Material, in Princeton, New Jersey, at the Robert Wood Foundation. That was pretty cool. And then I broke said glass sculpture after that. I've been having like a really weird year, but it is what it is. I'm just, and my most recent um, sort of accomplishment is my 2 animated films, Alien IRL and Salah. I kind of put them together and I called them If Not Now, When? And that's a show that's streaming on Brick TV starting tomorrow. Well, tonight, midnight to about like 12:20 or 12:15. It's not long, it's 15 minutes. And that's streaming all on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays, all month, and I'm really proud of myself, just because this is just me. This is not a group show. This is like my thing, and yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to be in that. I'm happy to uh, learn and generate and um, produce more. And I feel like I'm happy about these videos because I'm becoming. I'm the youngest child, and like I've always growing up, they were like, "Oh, you're so shy," but like I'm a Leo, like I'm gonna be in the spotlight, you know. Hair flip. But no, on a more serious note though, like I've always had an issue with like being seen and perception, and now it's like I'm kind of growing out of that. Not that I'm growing out of that, but this is like a social experiment for me to just like put myself out there. So I don't, not that I don't care about perception, but it doesn't faze me as much. So love you. See you next time. And this is just a whole reintroduction of me, what I do, what I've done, and what I feel is important, you know, and what I have next. So hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great year. I hope you have a great month. And I hope this week is an amazing week, and you're gonna see so much good things happening, so much good things revealing, and I'm speaking that over your life in Jesus' name. Bye.